Okay, here we are. We are back again with Pastor Lenny and Pastor Jenny Barber, pastoring the great church here in St. Louis, Missouri. I felt led that the topic, if you saw the first one, we needed to have a part two because we were getting into some very sensitive but powerful things. And so we are going to have a part two. To the Restored Woman is the title of what we are discussing today. Again, Pastor Lenny, Pastor Jenny, we're back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I want to start off with you, Jenny. Jenny actually is going to be on the front cover.
Uh-oh.
And I asked her, and she said, no, I got, here's what she said. She said, I have to have Lenny. I said, Lenny can't be on with you.
Nope.
I say, this here is strictly about women having a voice.
Yeah.
I said, now what you can do is Lenny can be in the publication and write to the response of what you doing and you saying and what the publication is about.
Yeah, for sure.
I told her that's where he has to be. But I said, you got to be by yourself, baby.
Yep.
With some other women that are one lady that's just made herself my assistant. She's been so helpful. It's like a big sister that I've always wanted.
Love it.
But she has a doctor's degree. She's retired from the CCC. Is that CDC? She's traveled all over the world.
Wow.
Dealing with diseases.
Wow.
Sharp black woman.
Okay.
And this has been very helpful for her because she's getting ready to get married soon.
Okay.
And so she now, at a latter part of time in her life, she has 3 children. And she's now saying, okay, Byron, we have never heard what you're teaching. We've always heard in the church, wives submit, women submit, women submit, women submit. But we've never heard that we are really, really appreciated.
Because it's mainly men that are speaking. And it's mainly men that'll miss out the previous verse before wives submit, which is men, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what did Jesus do for the church? He died for it.
Absolutely.
So that was the main piece of advice when I went to her mom to ask her, are you good with me marrying your daughter?
Wow.
And Miss Peggy Petrie looked me square in the eyes and said, I'm good as long as you love my daughter like Christ loved the church.
Wow.
And my response to her was, I already do.
Wow.
But that love is still growing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so as husbands, that is our number one job. Yeah. Love her like Christ loved the church. And if that's the case, if we're doing that and we're literally being led by the Lord, the submission piece, there won't be any issue. You also got to take into account when the scripture says submit one to another.
Yes. But that verse comes, Jenny, right before he starts talking about the other part. In Ephesians chapter 5, that's the first thing he says, but we overlook that verse.
That's what I'm saying.
Submit one to another.
Yep.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's what Christ brought back
For sure.
in before the fall.
Yeah.
Because Adam and Eve were submitted to one to another because they were one.
Yes.
That ruling came after the fall.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to remember, in essence, where Eve was created from. Rib, meaning she's supposed to be side by side with me.
Absolutely.
Because him creating the woman from any other, if it was, I'm going to create this woman from your head, that would signify her rule over him.
Yes.
If God says, I'm going to create this woman from the bone of your foot, that's going to signify the opposite. And so it's a thing where you have to seriously go back to what Adam and Eve really had: dominion together, oneness together, leading together.
Wow.
And submission isn't subservience.
Yeah.
It's not that. Submission is co-leading. Submission is helpmate, which is what Eve was designed to do.
Absolutely. And you know that God understood that man needed that because God himself is the one said, he turns to Jesus. He having a discussion with Jesus because nothing was created without talking to Jesus.
Right.
He said all things was created by that word.
Yep.
So
In the
he was
beginning
talking
was the
to,
Word, and
yeah,
the Word was with
he was
God.
talking to
Yeah.
that word when he
Yeah.
said, let us.
Yes. Let us make man in our own image.
So, and then he comes back with his bad self and he says, it's not good for him to be alone.
By the way, that's the first negative thing to take place in the Bible.
Yeah.
God looking at his son,
Wow.
Adam, and saying, he's not complete. That's the
Wow.
first negative thing to take place in the Bible.
Wow.
Adam's looking around at all these creatures and animals. He's like, dog, y'all, you got your partner.
Yeah.
You got your partner.
Yeah.
Doggone spider got his
Wow.
partner.
Yeah.
And God in his infinite wisdom puts him in a Holy Ghost coma.
And
the rest is history.
Well, and the thing is, I tell people, you know, doctors hasn't been the first one created surgery. God started surgery
Thank you.
a long time ago.
Knocked him out,
Put him
created
under
that
his
woman.
Holy Ghost
Anesthesia.
yes, and went
Yeah.
to work on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my point is, what I saw in that when he began to deal with me, and I knew I was going to pay a price going down this road.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, as close as my son and I are, when I started doing this just over 2 months ago,
Okay.
in April, I'll show you the picture. I had just came back from this real eloquent banquet with him. Awesome thing, $100 a plate. And God fixed it where I had a table by myself where everybody else is packed out in this huge arena in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here with all the food I want. Nobody sitting at that table. The Lord did it. Just set me at the table like a king by myself, everybody else. And my son has never not missed being with me in the summer.
Okay.
But when I went down this trail, my body went under attack. Preachers went doing things. But what the enemy did worse, because he knows I love my son and we are extremely close.
Yeah.
I calls to check and see if you are finished with your summer school stuff. Because sometimes he gets lazy. And he has to go and do, as smart as he is, he just get lazy.
Yeah.
So he's 17 years old. And so I calls him and all of a sudden he tells me, I say, well, you want to let me know when you finish so I can come and get you for something. And I got all these plans. You know, my wife done redid his bedroom, all of this. And I'm with this guy, and this guy deals with a lot of young people and holding these games all over the country. And each one of these young kids that do well, he give them a big ring.
Okay.
Like, you know, they get Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I talked him into giving me this ring, you know, and my son ain't in it, but he gave it to me because he's a client of mine.
Yeah.
He gave me the ring. Think I'm gonna surprise him. He gonna come home and see, you know, his room elevated and everything changed. My wife went in and rechanged the whole room.
Yeah.
And he tells me, he said, Dad, I'm not going to come this summer. He says, I'm going to stay home and work. But I knew who was behind it, not only the devil, I knew, you know, his mother was behind it. Well, I knew in my spirit the Lord had been preparing me for it.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, okay, you're going to have to walk another step of faith with him. You're going to turn him loose. And so I said, okay, just understand, because I had sent him a credit card.
Okay.
And the certain party didn't like me sending him a credit card because I'm trying to teach him.
I was just about to say, you're a better man than me.
Yeah. Well, I want to teach him about finance.
Yeah.
I got a small line of credit. It wasn't but $300.
Yeah.
But I wanted to teach him about finances because I didn't want to send him, keep going to have to send money through the mail and do it this way. I say it's simple.
Yeah.
You know, he can manage this. I can watch him, how he's handling money, how he's spending it. And so, and it stopped me from having to go to Walmart to send money Walmart to Walmart.
Right.
Well, the other party didn't like that. And so here's what I told him. He said, I'm going to get a job, Dad, in summer and et cetera. I said, okay. Well, and this is for some parent, men and some woman may be going through this. This is the attack I went on. So I said, here's what we're going to do. I said, I need you to understand that I'm not going to send you any more money. if you guys don't want the system that I've set up to make it save me money, be more convenient for you, then I say you're 17 now. You need to go ahead and, like you're saying, get your work.
Yeah.
And y'all need to work this out together, you and her.
Yeah.
But I say I'm out of it. And these are sometimes powerful love stands that you have to make and trust God,
Yeah.
because I done drove up and down this highway since he was 5.
Yeah.
Okay, he's 17. I done drove up and down that highway 6.5 hours one way, turn around, go 6.5 hours back just to have him for the weekend, just to let him know this here has nothing to do with you. And hadn't stopped. The older he got, I cut it back to once a month. So here we are, me and him just had came off spring break.
Yeah.
We had this wonderful time together, me, him, and my wife. Then I came down in April to this, and then now I hit this news. I'm all excited. Cause I was gonna bring him here, and so I get this.
Yeah.
And I didn't get upset. I just told him this. I said, just understand, you're doing the right thing. You have to get you a job, because I'm not gonna send you any more money, son. And I said, I love you. That's unquestionable. You know that.
Yeah.
I said, but you're gonna have to figure this out yourself.
Yeah. I think this speaks into kind of the stuff that you were saying earlier of love in spite of, right? You love in spite of what's going on, because this human condition, we want to place parameters on our love. I love you if.
Yeah.
I love you if.
Yeah.
And you said earlier, man, specifically on spouses, I want to see my wife the way God sees her, right? That carries over even to our kids.
Yeah.
And I'll take it a step further. It even carries over to our enemies.
Absolutely.
And that's where it gets hard. I'll hit on that in a second. Yeah. But even with our spouses and our kids, it's like, Lord, help me love them the way you love them. Help me see them the way you see them. Because our spouses and our kids, they're going to say something that's going to get us emotional. They're going to do something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Our kids are going to invite people over, and we like, what you doing? What you with friends with them for?
Yeah.
Like all of that, right?
Yeah.
So this whole love thing, brother, I'm still learning. And I think we're at that stage of, because you got a 17-year-old, we got a 17-year-old.
Yes.
Just graduated, and it's like, I want to hold on.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, I gotta loosen those reins a little bit. She gotta go do her thing. And she's doing it.
Yeah.
But I gotta trust the fact of like, that's it.
And that's what and see, I have tons of text messages where my son has sent me, say, you're the greatest dad ever. So I know that foundation is strong.
Yeah.
But I know this is a test for me.
For sure.
And so
it's a test for him too?
Yeah, absolutely. But I knew that I sort of had to do like the man had to do with the prodigal son.
Gotta let him go.
I have to let him go.
Yep.
You know, I'm not gonna put no demands on you. You need to understand, okay, you don't want my way.
Yeah.
This is what the prodigal son father
That's
did.
what it's all about. Yep.
You don't want my way of doing things.
Yep.
Okay. Even though you done saw the success of it.
Yep.
Okay.
The fact that he even asked for his inheritance was disrespectful.
Absolutely. So I haven't talked to him, you know, for ever since this encounter, and I hadn't talked to him already before we had that conversation. We used to talk 3 or 4 days a week, but I felt the Lord was preparing me to just back up, because he's growing. He has to find his way. Yep. So that's all I said to him. And then he said to me, I understand that. When I told him, I said, I'm not sending you any more money. And I got off the phone, and God had my heart protected. I wasn't hurt. I was disappointed. Yeah. You know, there's a difference in being disappointed and hurt. For sure. So God prepared my heart. So I got off the phone, and I still haven't talked to him. I said, but you know where I'm at. Yeah. Okay. And I can't tell you the times that came on me, I wanted to send him some money.
That's that loving father within you.
But I knew, don't cross this line.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out. Yeah. I'll say for me and my dad, our relationship has never been better but it only took place the moment I left his house.
Wow.
Dead serious.
Wow.
Dead serious. When I left St. Louis and made the decision to move to Dallas, it was like our relationship just boom. And I mean, I can remember having moments, even telling her, God, I wish I had this relationship when I was in his house.
Wow.
Right? But I think it's two alpha males
Yeah.
trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Right? And also this thing of, and this is what I tell my kids even now, because I asked him, I said, Dad, how is it that here it is, I'm in my 20s and we're in essence friends? And he was like, because you was in my house. I'm not your friend.
Mm.
I'm your dad.
Yeah.
I'm your pops. I'm trying to stir you, guide you, put these things in you. And he was like, but you left. Now you started your own family and all of that. Now we can be friends.
Well, Lenny, we got to go in part 3. I'm just going to deal with her a lot more, but we got to close for time's sake. But Lenny don't go nowhere. We're going to spend a lot of attention with Jenny. But guys, this is so rich, but I'm following the Holy Spirit. This is so powerful. We can be here all night because it's so in depth, okay? But we're going to be back. You're going to hear more from Pastor Jenny. Pastor Lenny don't go nowhere. We love you. We hope this has been a blessing to you. We'll be back, part 3, The Restored Woman.